Dr. Vegapunk on Egghead Island finally confirmed one of the biggest secrets in the series. What made Monkey D. Dragon a revolutionary? Dragon is rarely in the story of One Piece, only appearing in a handful of chapters or episodes of its current 1083 chapters, but his role has grown in this final saga, which makes him important and mysterious. The effect of Dragon's presence in the world is ever present. He's a character connected to fate, global politics, and he has complex relationships with Monkey D. Luffy, Monkey D. Garp, and Sabo, the chief of staff of the Revolutionary Army, being named the world's worst criminal, as well as saving his son Luffy when he was to be executed in Rogue Town before even reaching the Grand Line. And he saved Sabo as a child when he was shot by a celestial dragon. Sabo went on to be declared the Flame Emperor. The World Economic Times, using similar language to the characters with some of the greatest influence, the Emperors of the Sea. And lastly, a declaration of war against the celestial dragons during the Reverie. Celestial dragons are people higher in the hierarchy of power than regular people, so much so that they can commit atrocities in broad daylight and still be openly defended by an admiral of the Navy headquarters. So let's work out who Dragon was and what he means for the future of One Piece. After Gol D. Roger's execution and the erasure of Ohara 20 years before the start of Luffy's journey, Dragon had already planted the roots of his revolutionary ideals and goals, as he is the head of the Freedom Fighters. Dr. Vegapunk was visiting Ohara's grave when he was surprised by an unexpected group, giants collecting the remnants of the Great Library in Monkey D. Dragon. Seeing Dr. Vegapunk near the remnants of Ohara was surprising for Dragon as well. He comments that Vegapunk's head had grown significantly, implying that they might not have seen each other in years. How would they know each other in the past? A man like Vegapunk would be prone to staying in one place for extended periods of time. He's a workaholic for science. So if it is less likely that they ran into each other in the past, maybe they had worked together at some point. But Dragon and Vegapunk both say they knew Professor Clover, the head archaeologist of Ohara's famous library. So they know each other. But they also know Clover, but they don't know each other through Clover. At the time of the Ohara Incident, Dragon did not have tattoos on his face that he has for the entirety of the present story. So could the Ohara Incident and his tattoo be connected? Talking to Vegapunk, Dragon declares that he will carry Ohara's will. During the Four Emperors saga, the Straw Hat Pirates learn about the Road Poneglyphs. One Road Poneglyph is on Zou. One Poneglyph is on Totland under the protection of Empress of the Sea, Big Mom. One is in the closed country of Wano, protected by the Shogunate family, and the last poneglyph is uniquely mysterious. On Hachinosu, the Blackbeard pirates discuss the last poneglyph, said to be on a black ship that sinks any vessel that approaches it. Furthermore, Eustace Kid remarks that the man marked by flames is rumored to be holding the poneglyph, and this information is not well known, as only Kid has displayed anything more than pure ignorance about this mysterious figure. The other group that has mentioned the man marked by flames is the Blackbeard Pirates, and they refer to this person as a man with a burn scar. So let's suppose that the tattoo on Dragon's face are flames, or symbolic of the sun, or fire, or something. This would make him the man marked by flames, the carrier of the fourth Road Poneglyph, riding a black ship and sinking pursuers with a powerful devil fruit, perhaps a wind-based Logia that can create storms on the ocean. Where did Dragon get the Road Poneglyph, if he is the man marked by flames? Well, I think we've connected enough dots to figure out that this poneglyph was in the Great Library of Ohara. The leaders in archaeological science and secret poneglyph researchers could be easily imagined to hold the Road Poneglyph. Almost the entirety of the Ohara Incident is through Robin's perspective. It could easily be hidden that Ohara held an extra special poneglyph in their library, the type of object that only one or two people would know existed. When Dragon declares that he will carry Ohara's will, well, maybe that would be literal. All of this is with the caveat that Kuzan tells the Blackbeard pirates that there was no Road Poneglyph on Ohara, and that if there was, he would have seen it. But unlike the Blackbeard pirates, we saw Vice Admiral Kuzan at Ohara. He was off the coast for the majority of the incident and only came ashore to confront or save his good friend Saul and a young Nico Robin. In the actual panels, we really don't have any evidence that he could have found a hidden poneglyph. And there is a very real possibility that Kuzan is undercover in the Blackbeard Pirates as one of the members of SWORD, a secretive Navy organization where members typically work undercover at the behest of the Navy. And if Kuzan is with Sword, well then he is probably lying to the Blackbeard crew about many things, including any potential knowledge of the last Road Poneglyph. As One Piece fans, we primarily see the story from the perspective of the last 2 years, but there's been setups for the conclusion of the story for someone to find Laugh Tale. Dragon holds the final key to Laugh Tale. He possibly has learned most of what was written on the poneglyphs, and he has been the primary force directly fighting the gods of this world, who appear to have stolen power from the ancient kingdom and have ultimately caused some of the worst acts of evil of their history: slavery, genocide, and imperialism. Let's keep up the momentum of this Dragon being the true hero of One Piece and look at the incident of Ohara from 20 years ago, because there were some circumstances around that event that leave some room for Dragon to possibly have been involved. All of this is within the context of the story in the Egghead Island arc, which is about 700 chapters ahead of the infamous Enies Lobby flashback, the Ohara Incident. Nico Olivia, the mother of Nico Robin, went out to sea for 6 years with a group that included other archaeologists searching for poneglyphs to ultimately learn the true history of the world through uncovering the Void Century 800 years ago, when the world government was first created. When she considered leaving to research poneglyphs versus staying at home in Ohara with her daughter Robin, a man on the departing ship tells her, "If you can't leave your child, then don't come. We'll fulfill your husband's wishes." The way this is presented forces us to consider two things. Her husband is part of this group, as this jabroni is reporting back to him. And two, we just have to ask ourselves, well, who is her husband? Who is Robin's father? And while I don't want to run away with a theory about Dragon being Robin's father, we have to leave this with the knowledge that this group is largely mysterious. We don't know who this group of people are exactly. For example, several of them are archaeologists, but are all of them? I doubt it. So maybe it is more like a pirate crew, but more virtuous in their mission. Maybe freedom fighters, with Dragon being the head of the group of trying to change the world. And while archaeologists researching a history of a world that has been shrouded in mystery, well, that makes a good pair. The world of One Piece, especially the Grand Line, is far too dangerous. Most people need knowledge, power, and wealth to have a chance at reaching their dreams in this world. And the archaeologists of Ohara really have the knowledge, but lack the power to protect the knowledge against a massive organization that is the world government. So why has Monkey D. Dragon done all this? Given that the Ohara Incident is just 2 years after Roger's execution and the declaration that the One Piece is real, this could have been a significant factor in what ultimately incited Dragon's radicalization and ultimately forming the Freedom Fighters before the Ohara Incident. If the Freedom Fighters were allied with the scholars of Ohara, he would know that Roger left the One Piece treasure for someone, a member of the D clan.
One Piece は実在する!
And Dragon, being a D, takes on his own role. He is not Joy Boy, but he will be the one to give Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates the last piece to find Laugh Tale. And remember, the Revolutionary Army, through Sabo, has the means to find Luffy at the penultimate time. In chapter 794, Sabo says goodbye to Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates, giving them Luffy's Vivre card while keeping a piece for himself. Dragon is an absolutely essential piece to the puzzle that makes up the story of One Piece. Whether it's his appearance at Roger's execution in Roguetown, his declaration to carry on Ohara's will, his formation of the Revolutionary Army, his rescue of Sabo, who goes on to be mentored by Dragon and eventually becomes the Flame Emperor, and the saving throw for Luffy in Roguetown. Dragon saved his son after Luffy declared that he will be King of the Pirates, a declaration that Dragon supported. Kingdoms have been saved from disaster, and the Straw Hats managed to attain 3 Road Poneglyphs because of Dragon's actions in Roguetown. Everything in this story has become possible, and now he waits ready to provide the final key to reach Laugh Tale and begin the ultimate confrontation for the fate of the world. Monkey D. Dragon is the unsung hero of One Piece.